Hey guys, so I just wanted to run you through OneNote to see why exactly I use it and how I organize it. This is my preferred app for my notes after I've checked out the lecture handouts. Pretty much you've got this one notebook that has pathology, pharmacology, and then quick notes. Underneath the header for pathology, you see I have all of my systems here, so fundamentals, cardiopulm, etc. You can easily open a major category to where you have all of your lectures here. I really like this because the lectures are shorter little pieces of information and you don't have to keep scrolling and scrolling. You just check out the sidebar to see, okay, I need to review this topic. Let me see what I have here, and you can just go to the side versus like mindless scrolling as if I were to do the Microsoft Word or, endless flipping of pages. Where did I put this? So pretty much this is an example of what I use for pathology. You've got the disease, the epidemiology and pathogenesis, the micro and gross look, and then the clinical course. So I just kind of make these tables per disease. You can see I have some words that are blue. That's pretty much my key that, hey, this is important. If it's doubly important, you can see that you've got the bold or the italics. I'm a very visual learner, so these clues definitely help. And then you can see that this is pretty much a theme throughout. Sometimes I do have some introductory material if it doesn't really fit into a table, like routes of CNS entry, the difference between meningitis and encephalitis. I could have easily made this into a 2-column table, but I didn't. However, for the cells, protein, glucose, the differences there, I did do that because it seemed easier and more succinct. Sometimes I have to separate out other categories, like you've got acute pyogenic meningitis, but what affects neonates versus infants? I don't want to create a header for each one because the overlying principle is generally the same. So I just search through that. For pharmacology, it's pretty much the same deal. Anti-Parkinson's. So again, I have a little bit on the disease itself because a lot of times they just remind us of the physiology. So that's pretty much what this is. And then I've got my table for the drug, mechanism of action, the indications and uses, and then the adverse effects. And I separate them out the same. The red is kind of like the really important adverse effects that keep being repeated over and over and over again. These are definitely going to be tested. I would say for pharmacology, you want to focus on the adverse effects almost more than anything else. And I just have it kind of separated out like this. I know there were a lot of times where, for example, benzotropine, trihexyphenidyl are both anticholinergics. Well, I already learned the anticholinergics in the fundamentals module. So I would go here under anticholinergics, and if you notice, adverse effects is dry as a bone, red as a heat, hot as a hair, blind as a bat, mad as a hatter. Huh, that kind of looks familiar. I copied and pasted. That's kind of one of the nice things about having notes digitalized. Another thing is that I can do a search. So say I did a question and I'm not very sure about the particular drug. So let's say digoxin. These are all of the lectures that it's been stated in. So I'm going to go ahead and drugs used in heart failure. You've got it right here. This is the actual information on the drug that I've written down. Let's see, antiarrhythmics. You see here, you've got digoxin is a contraindication when using quinidine or vice versa. So that's kind of a nice way to kind of integrate the material. Was something, oh yes. So you might notice that a lot of my tables have different colors. I kind of went from using one-page colors to the actual tables being colored. That was because the tables I could use any color I wanted to on the spectrum. So for anti-migraine, I've got gray. HIV treatments, kind of like a pink. anti-seizure is yellow. These colors are completely arbitrary. I just kind of think, what color is in my mind when I'm thinking about this topic? Completely arbitrary, but I do have a different color for every single lecture within a module. But I do repeat the colors between modules, but it just helps me organize my thoughts. And that can actually be very helpful if you are also a visual learner. I think these are the main points that I wanted to discuss with the OneNote note-taking. I would like to also remind you that this is great because it helps you sync files. If you create the app, I know they've got both Android and Apple apps, and they sync really well, so it's really nice to have while you're on the go. It kind of forces you to look at that versus wasting your time with other applications. Okay, have a good day.